Welcome back. Today, this is just a miscellaneous video. It's going to go on messing in the shop, probably episode 3. This and just some other stuff. But this is the first video I'm recording in my new shop space after the shop move. Honestly, it's going to look like the same angles to you, which is just fine by me. That's what I wanted. But I'm still cleaning up some stuff I've just had laying around back here. You know, spaces become a catch-all. And so one thing I wanted to tackle was I took apart an old busted stereo receiver that wasn't working, and I kept components because I also have an interest in some electronics. I'm not very good at it. I do have a desire to learn it, but I really don't know much about it. You know, I can solder things and maybe make an LED work with some resistors and things like that, but I thought, you know, maybe I'll go ahead and try to recycle or salvage some components off of some old electronics. But in the end, this stuff's just sitting around. I think I'm just going to go through it, see if there's anything I want to keep, and then trash the rest. So, what do we have? We have an old circuit board. We have an LED. I don't know if I could reuse this. It's kind of very specific. It's got some Dolby Digital stuff. I'm never probably going to use it. Maybe I could save this would be a potentiometer of some sort. I don't know. Honestly, I'm never going to use that. I'll probably buy what I need if I ever do make something. These buttons, I've got a whole bunch of these things in a drawer that I bought. They're next to nothing. I just don't see anything on there that I want to keep. I'm going to get rid of this. What else we have? Trash. This is all trash. Well, a lot of it's trash. Let's get this wire out of here. I'm going to grab a garbage can so we can get rid of some of this stuff. All right. Got some old memory chips. These things aren't worth anything. They're not going to work in anything new. Let's get rid of that stuff. I know there's places you can recycle that stuff. So here's a little stepper motor. Maybe I'll keep that thing, or a motor of some sort. I'll see if I can activate that with you know, a low voltage charger of some sort. Here's not sure how useful that is. Again, I know a lot of you that are into electronics know what a lot of this is, but again, I think this is probably be like a microphone or a sound pickup of some sort. I'm not going to keep this stuff. Like I said, I'll buy it if I ever want this kind of stuff. This looks like a little speaker of some sort. Again, I'm never going to use it. It's time to get rid of it. This stuff's been sitting here for years. This is an auto part. I'm going to keep that. What else we got? A ring of LEDs and a sensor. That'll be a light sensor, I'm sure. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'll keep that and see if I can probe it and see what it does. This thing I'll never use. What else we got? This remote, I'm never going to use that. There's an old capacitor. Here, this would be a speaker of some sort. Noisemaker. I don't know. Again, you can buy these components pretty cheap. Again, it's sitting around. Time to get rid of it. More RAM chips. not going to do anything with those. We'll keep that. These 9-volt battery leads are kind of useful if you're making like a little LED light or something. That could be your power source. Keep that. Here's another motor. I'll see if I'll hang on to that, something to play with, and see if I can get it to activate. Never going to use that. That'd be some audio input of some sort. Power bricks. Sometimes these are useful if you're looking for a specific voltage, because you can. What a mess. I'm going to keep these because I use these when I'm editing videos, if they work. Here is some headphones. These may or may not work. I'll hang on to those. Don't need that. Just a connector. I'm not going to use that. Like I said, this stuff's just laying around. It's time to get rid of some of this crap. So here is a normally open switch of some sort. Maybe I'll just hang on to that. It's small enough. Trash. Here's a speaker that I will hang on to. I might be able to reuse that. Here's another one. These came out of some old computers that I had access to. Here's another one. Hang on to that. Here's another one of those switches that are, unless it's contacted, you know, it cuts the circuit off. I'll hang on to that one. There was just some playing around that I did. I'll go ahead and hang on to that one too. Alright. Little wires. I was playing around with a power source for some LEDs. I may hang on to that one. What a mess. Because those are kind of fun to play with. I've already got the lead there. Come on. I may get back into electronics a little bit someday and make some video content on that. If you're interested in it, maybe post a comment down there and let me know what you think. Again, that's totally amateur. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just another interest that I have. Yeah. Alright, so this would be 10.1 volt DC. So I'm going to hang on to that. That might be, if I'm looking for a sequence of LEDs that needs 10 volts, I could perhaps use that. Don't need a SATA cable. Got plenty of those. There's another one of those little speakers. I'll hang on to that. Here's an old headphones that are cut off. Done with those. Antenna. Another one of those little switches. I'll hang on to one of those. I do have a place for this stuff. Wi-Fi. I'm never going to use that. Here's a photo cell. 1R night vid. I don't know what the point of that is. Again, it's been in this box. It's not something I'm ever going to use. Another one of those speakers. I'm just going to get rid of this one. Had issues. Yeah, get rid of that. I don't know if this works. I think this didn't work. I might want to try to fix that. And then finally another, this would be 12 volt, oh, 9 volt, 300 amps, milliamps, 300 milliamps. Let me hang on to that one too. I have a place for this stuff. We'll just kind of wrap that up. Alright. And there's a battery, like for a watch battery. I'm not going to keep that. I'll never get that to work. And just some hardware. Alright, and a box. So, that takes care of that. I've just got these things I'm going to hang on to. And I got a place to put this stuff. Let me, oh, it's up here. I'm going to grab it and we'll put it away. Just a place for little electronic components, soldering stuff, you know, nothing too crazy. So we'll put a little switch up here. All these little speakers will hang on to, put them in their own little slot. Got 5 of those. If anybody needs one, let me know. Just tuck those down there. This little LED ring thing. Not sure what good that is. Keep that up here. Put a little power brick down here. This other power brick down here. This is one of those. I got 2 of these little switches. We'll keep these. Who knows, if I make something that has a lid and you open it, you know, this could turn it on or turn it off, you know, depending on how you wire it up. A little stepper motor or something like that. Another one, put those there. And then finally another little, this will be probably 5 volts because it's USB. Now I do have a couple more that I just kind of threw in here that I want to stick in there. This. So another power brick, put that in here. I've also got a couple fans. Put those in here, get them out of the way. What else? Well, I think that'll be good for now. So, there. Now we're cleaning up another box of stuff. Kind of tuck that stuff away. Enough. Get this back. Now I've got more stuff cleaned up, put away. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed. It's just me messing around in the garage again. Hope to see you on the next one. Welcome back, everybody. Here's another clip for Messing in the Shop episode. After one of my videos that I released not too long ago, this was about the compound, the carriage disassembly. A couple things to note. When I made that video, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still learning today, but as I continue on, I'm still learning all the parts and the names. And in one of my videos, I mentioned how important it is to get your nomenclature and your terminology correct. People want to help you, but they also want you to call the components what they actually are. This is the compound. This is a compound rest, or this would be, I suppose. This is your, maybe that's compound rest. This is your cross feed. This is your horizontal or longitudinal hand feed. You got your apron, your saddle, the whole thing is a carriage, but this top portion is your compound. I think compound because it can move multiple different directions in and out and put your angles on. So just clarification on that. But today's focus is going to be kind of backlash on this particular video. What I'm going to do, someone had mentioned to me, these screws on the side are to kind of take out some of the backlash in my half nuts. I got 2 half nuts that clamp down. And I never did fully take the apron off. Someday I will, but I'm not going to do that yet. I don't need to. Everything's working fine. But what I do want to do is see if I can take out a little bit of the backlash. And so I've got the half nut engaged, and so the carriage is locked. But if you look, there's just a little bit of movement back and forth, and I want to see if I can take that out. And what that means is when I'm feeding or trying to do some threading, there won't be any slight backlash causing some malformed threads. So what I'm going to do is set you up. We'll get you focused here, and we will see if we can adjust those screws on the side to take out some of that backlash. So again, I've got this half nut engaged, and there's just a little bit of backlash back and forth. So what we're going to do is tighten these 3 screws down over here and see if we can take some of that out. Let's see. I need a wrench. By the way, this lathe does not come with a 7mm wrench of any sort, but all of these little nuts are 7mm. So keep that in mind. These guys are already loose. Okay. So let's go ahead and, with that half nut engaged, let's see if we can take some of that out. I don't know if that'll work or not, but maybe this isn't how you do it. Still moving a little bit. Now see, that's just tightening up. Yeah, so I got to loosen that up a little bit. That's just tightening up the half nut itself. There's a slide on the side that allows the 2 half nuts to come apart. So these are too tight. Loosen those up a little bit. Yeah, we gotta. There we go. A little tighter, so I don't think that's quite. I think I have some adjustments down here too. Maybe that's where I do it, but it may be just that's as much of the play as I can get out of it too. Too tight. I'm going to go with that. That's for this particular saddle, apron. I can't. These are just to adjust up and down motion of the half nuts. So I do want to snug those down though. I got it adjusted right where I want it. Just don't want to move it. check it. And that's as tight as I can make it. So these aren't, on this lathe, these really aren't the actual, I don't know, they don't take that back. I think the backlash that I'm looking at is actually the threads in the half nuts versus the threads, the Acme threads that are on this feed screw. So I think I just have to live with that. But again, let me get this third one tightened down, and that way it won't come loose on me. So I'm working on things. Probably need to go through and just kind of tighten everything up anyway. It's been a while. We just did a shop move. Maybe. There we go. Snug those up. There we go. So anyway, so that's just some adjustments that you have over here. It tightens down the friction on the side of the half nuts in order to engage and disengage them, and you know, clamping power. So if you got these too tight, it's really difficult to get those half nuts spread apart. So there we go. Welcome back here. Here's another little clip. Something I've been needing to do since some of the projects I was working on. I've got some high-speed steel and some carbide, some of the stuff that came with the lathe originally, and you can kind of, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's some galling. I use these with aluminum. It's galling or maybe chipping. See the shiny spots there? I think this one's galling. This one is just, I think it's got a little bit of a chip on the end, so I want to get that out, clean that one up. And then the high-speed steel, you can see that shiny high spot on the tip. That needs to be fully raked down. That's causing me some issues. I haven't been using this piece because of that. So what we're going to do is get this thing spinning, and we're going to kind of clean these up, and then we'll hone them out. Bring this over here. It's kind of a test too. All right, we got these ground down, kind of refresh the surfaces. Now it's time we need to hone them. I went ahead and did this one too. I'm trying something different. I'm trying to leave my left side of this one, my cutting side, as parallel as I can, so I can just run and use the entire, or as much as this high-speed steel as I can. Whereas this one, I keep nibbling back at this tip, and I gotta turn my compound just to get this position where I want. And in some cases, it's just not usable. I can't use this. So eventually I'm gonna have to grind all that off and start fresh. So I'll just keep nibbling away at it until, you know, I have something, you know, until I can't use it anymore, and then I'll start fresh. But so this one I'm trying something different so that I can use as much as this material as possible. But I've got some fresh ground surfaces again. Pretty ugly looking on that one, but it's gonna work. And now I'm gonna hone them up. So let me grab one of my stones, and I'm sure there's some proper techniques for this, but this is how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, don't take the first off it. This is how I this onion. This onion. This is how work this side. There we go. It's pretty good. Yeah, you can see it. A little shiny there. So keep doing this. Don't have that. Then the other side. Yeah, wait in there. That's pretty good. And then of course, go through the front. Round those a little bit. So we'll get a nice sharp carbide edge all across. Yeah, I like it. That one's pretty fresh. Ready to go for the next project. This one. Fresh. What do you use carbide? Yeah, carbide. Razor blade. High steel. Fresh. Freshly cleaned corners, turtles, make such a difference. If you find something frustrated with finishes or cuts, or falling, whatever, go back, check your tooling. And make sure it's as sharp as you can, doesn't touch it. There we go. Have a house, this one, house on, it's 5 minutes. See what this one is. Yeah. You get. Try to see what you're there, that was nice, there we go. And yeah, and nice, always watching. Not gonna be these nice, little but no rockets, maybe like you're watching. Just this one, this one, enjoy some nice steel. Use that. Trim it up, use your tool. Good go. Nice ish. So you can get some of this ring in there. May not look pretty, but you can feel that's good to go. All right, we'll get this stuff mounted back up, ready for the next project. See how we can do. The next thing I want to do is kind of go back through this little tool chest and kind of organize it, clean it up a little bit. It's kind of wasted space with some of the stuff that I have in here. You know, things like these, I just threw them in here. Got some extra parts holders. These certainly don't need to be up there. My 1, 2, 3 blocks, I want them up here, but I usually leave them in this bag so that they kind of stay oiled. I like those. I've got a square, which I actually have 2 of these up here now. This one's not so bad. This one, stay away from Harbor Freight. I can't believe I bought this thing. Total trash. The quality of it is so bad. It's aluminum, but I tried to use this to find the center on some material, and it's offset. I bought one where it was machined. I took it back, and it was like $3 after some discount. I was like, no, give me another one. So I got another one. It's no better. You can't actually get a square. Avoid Harbor Freight for this kind of stuff. Total junk, especially if you're really trying to find a center or something. I've got my mag base. I have a macro lens, I believe. Maybe I'll try to use that on camera sometime. And I got to get some better dial indicators, but I got a dial indicator. I got a really nice micrometer. I got another one, my dad's. I do need to adjust it again a little bit. I didn't come in quite far enough, but I do have it pretty close on. I just got to get that barrel in a little bit farther. And finally, I have my calipers. Really cheap, only in the tenths, hundredths, no thousandths, but it's fine for larger stuff. And then I've got my decent Nico. These aren't Mitutoyo or Starrett or anything, but they work pretty well. Down to half a tenth. Anyway, so let's make sure there's nothing else up here. I do have a lock for if I wanted to lock this, but I'm never going to lock it. All right. So what do I want up here? I definitely want my calipers within reaching distance. I do want my dial indicator. That's important. My mag base. That's important. This could go in another drawer, but most likely I'll always use it with the dial indicator. Some other stuff too, but we'll just get that in here. That'll be a problem. Let's, how can I put this? It's a little awkward. I'll just leave it there for now. Got my 3-2-1 blocks, 1-2-3 blocks, and a square. Put that there, and then my crappy Harbor Freight one, junk. Put that over there, and then of course I want my micrometers up here, easy to use as well. Kind of fix that a little bit. So that stuff's all accessible. Got a little extra room up here, so that's good there. This has just got some of those Starrett books and posters and things. Someday I need to move this stuff out of here. Find a little shelf or something to put it on. Really cool stuff though. And poster of all their equipment. And then some other guides. Precision products. Wireless stuff, which I didn't mean to order that one. I don't need that. But yeah, got another poster. I may put that in the lid of this. Anyway, Starrett literature. Pretty cool stuff. Put that stuff back here for now. But I'll probably move this stuff eventually. It's kind of a wasted use of this drawer, if you want my opinion. Then I have some markers, some other charts, a little notepad. Again, I only ordered one of everything. I didn't want to be greedy and order, you know, a whole bunch of crap from Starrett. It was pretty generous of them to offer that stuff anyway. Oh, just some other stuff, some utensils. I got my project notes in here. But at any rate, that is what I keep in this drawer. My readers. That's still pretty handy. And then of course I got some spare parts. Here's that potentiometer that failed. I kept it because it kind of worked, but it's more for a reference for me. And then I've got my 4-jaw and my collet chuck, some towels, rags, other material, my bench block. I'm going to put in the top. Put this here. And that's what I got in my top cabinet. I'll probably move the books and stuff out of here as I get more tooling and find a better location for those. But there you go, a little tour of my tool chest that sits on my workbench.